Welcome back to another episode of BNN Now. I'm your host, IFBB Pro Danielle Willis. I am sitting with special guest, rising Phoenix competitor, women's bodybuilder, Melissa Teich. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's been very great, just being in the perspective, like viewer box this year and just being able to see people that have been competing and then people just coming out and stepping out essentially for the first time or crossing over. And you are one of those that crossed over this year. You had a stellar year last year in physique, Texas Pro Champ, made it to the Olympia, and then you decided you're going to make that jump. So let's talk first up about Rising Phoenix. Tell us about how that experience went for you.
Honestly, it was a dream come true. And up until like a couple days ago, I'm like, I feel like I'm still dreaming. I feel like I won, even though I obviously got sixth place, but I feel like I won. I didn't have any expectation going into it. Of course, I told myself if I can just make the first call out, that would be outstanding. And when I heard my number in that first call out, I was like, are they sure? They call my number. So it was a shock to me as well, but I know how much work I put in, so I don't know why I was doubting myself at all.
First call out, you kind of set that intention. And I always believe you set the intention, you do the work. For the most part, it usually ends up going pretty well. So that's how it shook out for you. You had the vision and hey, top six, first time women's bodybuilding, Rising Phoenix. And also congratulations on top 3 for Chicago. I mean, that's just it's impressive. That's really amazing. So, you should be celebrating.
I had to redeem myself after my Chicago showing because that was not at all my best look by any means. So, and I knew that. So as soon as I got back from Chicago, I'm like, I've got work to do.
Yeah, your conditioning was great. I could tell that you made those improvements, came in tighter from Chicago to Rising. And at the end of the day, I can speak just as a competitor, and I'm sure you can agree. I mean, we all want to win, but the win in itself is, did we best what we brought to the stage prior to?
Right.
So we got to leave it at the hands of the judges when we're on that stage. So in our minds, we've done the work. Do we feel that we've presented to our best of our ability? And seems like, going off of what you said, you took the feedback and then you made those improvements. And again, top 6, that's something to be said.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to be in women's bodybuilding, and what went into that switch?
So I feel a lot more comfortable being in women's bodybuilding than women's physique, only because I was holding myself back to some degree in women's physique. I don't want to say I get to eat a whole lot more, but we were trying to pull down so hard in women's physique that my body was going the opposite way. So we'd cut food, increase cardio, my body weight would go up. Like, my body doesn't want to be smaller. And I enjoy training heavy. I also power lift on the other side of things. So I like to do the heavy compound movements. I like to really push myself when I'm training. So my body's not going to get any smaller. So my best option was just to move up, and it was the best decision I've made.
You want to go where your body's telling you to go. What went into your posing routine? Can you talk about who choreographed that? Did you have a hand in your posing?
So Quentin Patterson did my posing routine. We actually built it last year before the Olympia, but then of course only the top 5 performed at the Olympia, so I didn't get to do it there. Just been practicing that, and he was super patient with me. He's a great posing coach, because I don't have the swagger, the hip, my body doesn't move like some of these girls on stage that have phenomenal routines. And having him help me along the way was exactly what I needed, because I've had other posing coaches in the past that didn't really give me that one-on-one time and the feedback and whatnot. And he was there every step of the way, and he still messages me today and is like, hey, if you need help with anything, you just let me know.
That's what's most important, is having a coach that's very hands-on and that you can get that feedback from, especially when it comes to the posing, because you want to know that you're presenting yourself in a way that you're most comfortable with, number 1, and in the way that's best suitable for your physique, number 2. You want someone that's going to be able to essentially hold your hand so that you can get comfortable, get that flow going. You looked great. I couldn't tell that, you had that going on, in the background. And that is a testament to having a good posing coach. You can find something you feel comfortable, you can jam out to. That means you can jam out on stage,
It makes it a lot easier, I'll say that.
Yeah, for sure. So who's a part of your professional team? Who do you want to give a shout out to?
First and foremost, my husband. He's not only my husband, but my number one supporter, as well as my coach, the guy that keeps me in line.
Hey, we need that. I have one of those.
Yeah, him and I through this whole prep. So he critiqued my posing, did my diet manipulations, brought me in peak week. I don't really have anybody else that helped in that regard other
Now,
than
have you
him.
been working with your husband in this capacity for a long time now?
No, I had been with Shelby Starnes for 10 years
Okay.
in women's physique. And then when we decided to make the switch, my husband's a open men's bodybuilder. He's going to be competing here in the middle of November at the Masters USA's. So I figured, he sees me every day. He sees me in person. He knows what I need to look like.
I like all the answers coming out of your mouth. You're just like one of those women that's like, I know what I need to do. I have my vision, and you listen to your body. And to me, this is a great message for any competitor that's watching right now. You got to listen to your body. You got to find what works for you. Now, Rising is done. The season has come to an end, but the work still continues. So what is next for Melissa Teich?
As it stands right now, I think I plan to take like a 6-month off season at least. Try to grow a little bit, and obviously get my food up, get my body weight up, and if I could just put on like a couple pounds of stage weight, that would be great. I mean, I would like 10 pounds, but like, talk to me about that in 5 years. But I also plan to probably do a powerlifting meet in January. I love powerlifting, so I still continue to lift like that even when I'm prepping for a show. So it's really doesn't change anything that I'm currently doing. I do plan on getting on stage next year. I had said all along, if I make the first call out at the Rising, I'll compete again next year. If I don't, then I'm going to take an extended off season, take the whole year off, and get bigger. But because I made the first call out, I think I have a good chance at scoring a Olympia qualification for next year. I'm hoping that the Texas Pro, which is generally in August, will add women's bodybuilding this year. I did reach out to Freddie, the promoter, and asked him, and he said some things are in the works, but he didn't for sure say that it's going to happen, but he gave me some hope.
I really enjoyed having you on the show. I mean, you're a phenomenal athlete, and mad respect for just your journey. I'm sure your fans, everyone that's watching, they're really excited for the season that you've had overall. And it's great to talk to another women's bodybuilding sister, and I'm wishing you all the best in your off season and as you prepare for your meet in January.
Thank you.
So this has been another episode of BNN Now. I'm your host, IFBB Pro Danielle Willis, and I was speaking with special guest Melissa Teich. Until the next time, please click the link and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye.